Hi students, I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you again. I'm looking outside my window and I see some sunshine, so I hope you've been able to enjoy some times with some sunshine and that everything's been going well for you. So today I want to be able to look again at some of the same lesson that we did last week, and that is on page 114 and page 115 in your book. And it is in the background of our picture right here behind the screen. So I'm working with a little bit of new technology. I hope it doesn't drive you crazy as I learn it, but you'll be able to see me, and at the same time, you should be able to see what we're doing. So at the top of this page, you'll see that it says past continuous and simple past with adverb clauses, when and while. So that's what we're going to talk about again today. I think last time could have been a little bit confusing for you. I hope not. But we're going to go over it just really briefly, and I'm going to give you some of those sentences that, do you remember we had the stories last time? The one where the girl was working on the computer and the tree fell in through the window. And then also, they're the stories that the pictures are on page 115. So if you have your book, the pictures are on the very next page. So let's talk about how you use these words again, and then we'll go over those sentences. And then I hope tomorrow or Friday, we'll start some reading together. All right, so these right here where the arrow is, here are 4 sentences that are sentences with when or while. They're sentences that use adverb clauses, and they use simple past and past continuous. So that's 2 forms of past tense. And this way of talking is when we want to tell a story of something where you've got something that's happened in the past that's a longer event, and then that event is interrupted or stopped by a shorter past tense event, something that interrupts the other activity. So in this case, these sentences right here, what was happening is that Maxine and Joel were sleeping. So that's the longer event, and it's interrupted by a fire that started in the kitchen. And this gives us 4 different ways to say it using these adverb clauses. An adverb clause, a clause is not a full sentence. Okay, it doesn't give us the complete information. That's why if it starts with the word when or the word while, we use a comma. All right, but we put 2 adverb clauses together to get the whole idea of what's happening. So let's just read through these. When the fire started, Maxine and Joel were sleeping. So this tells us what was happening when the fire started. When the fire started, Maxine and Joel were sleeping. Or you could turn it around the other way and say, while Maxine and Joel were sleeping, a fire started in the kitchen. So you might notice here, well, one thing, you never use both when and while in the same sentence. Also, if when is used, it will be in the same adverb clause with simple past. If while is used, it will be in the same adverb clause with past continuous. Okay, let's look at these 2. Maxine and Joel were sleeping when the fire started. Okay, this time they put the word when in the middle of the sentence. So here's the clause, when the fire started. This is the when clause. Again, the when clause has the simple past with it. So if you are trying to make a decision of which verb to put there, look for the when. It will always go with simple past. This is another clause. Maxine and Joel were sleeping. This one is going to be the past continuous. So if you don't have anything with it, Maxine and Joel were sleeping, then you see the word when, that goes with the simple past. And then the last possible way you could say this is you could begin with the simple past. A fire started in the kitchen while Maxine and Joel were sleeping. So while will always go with the past continuous. All right, so I wrote up some of these ideas for you in some notes. So you might want to take a screenshot or a picture of this with your phone. It's basically what I just explained. So the topic is past continuous with simple past. They are adverb clauses using when and while. Used to talk about two events that happened. They both happen in the past. One is a shorter event that interrupts a longer event. And I give you the page numbers in the book if you want to go look there. The book also gives a reference to page 148 in the back of the book. So you can also see page 148 for more information in the back of your book. So this is one action is already happening, and then it's interrupted by another action. You're going to use when clauses with a simple past. You're going to use while clauses with past continuous. And here I give you some examples of when clauses and some examples of while clauses. All right, so last time I asked you to write some sentences, to do your best to try to write some sentences about those pictures. And here are the answers or possibilities of the answers for those. Remember, those could be arranged different ways, just like the sentences that we just read at the very beginning. So you could say the one where she was with, you can be looking at the pictures there on page 115. Wait, let's see, it's right. It's these pictures here. So first is she's with their computer, right? Then the car, they're in the car driving, and then they run out of gas. Here they're having a meal in a restaurant, and they look out the window, and the police officer's writing a ticket. It's not good. And here's the man is cooking dinner, and then the lights go out. So those were the sentences that you were supposed to try to write, sentences that talk about that. If you didn't have time to do, no problem. We'll just go through it together now. Okay, so the first one, you could have said, while she was working, or while she was working on her computer, a tree fell on her house. Or she was working when a tree fell on her house, or a tree fell on her house while she was working. So there's three different ways that you could say that. Okay, then the one about driving, you could say, while they were driving, they ran out of gas. They were driving when they ran out of gas. This one has when in the middle, so you don't need a comma. Or they ran out of gas while they were driving. So notice while will go with were driving. So while is always going to go with past continuous. When is always going to go with simple past. These should be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure why they went like that. Okay, so this is the one about the parking ticket. While they were eating, they got a parking ticket. Or we could say they were eating when they got a parking ticket. Or they got a parking ticket while they were eating. And then the last one, we could say while he was cooking dinner, the lights went out. Or he was cooking dinner when the lights went out. Or the lights went out while he was cooking dinner. So there's some different ways that you could say it. Now, if you did a different way and you want me to check it, or you think that it's also right, go ahead and send me that, or send me your sentences in a text. I'll be happy to check those. Here are some more. Here's 6 other sentences that I would have given you on a worksheet if we were together, that you can try if you want to. So they give you the verbs at first. So here's work and see. They do the first one for you, so really you're only doing five of these. Just a little bit more practice in case you didn't get it the first time. You can try again. So here they do, Julia was working in the garden when she saw the fire. So if I was doing this, I would look for the word either when or while to help me decide how I was going to do this. So I would find when. That begins this adverb clause, and when will always go with simple past. So I'd know that this needs to be simple past of see, and that is saw. All right, so these 5, I'd like you to try and see what you can do with those. All right. So the next time that we meet, which I hope will be either tomorrow or Friday, hopefully Tim and I will do this video together and we'll begin some reading. If you want to work ahead, you're free to look at the reading that's in the white book. Any new words, underline, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about some new vocabulary and do a little bit of reading together. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks, and have a great evening.